AEW Dynamite this week. Pure wrestling chaos with a splash of WTF. Death Riders call out the Bucks. Then the Bucks try to make friends. Friendship goals? I don't know. Kenny Omega's telling poop stories and about to get jumped like a high school lunch. And then Mox chokes out Shibata and then gets choked out with like a reverse Uno. Stay tuned. We'll go through it all. Check it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, wrestling fans and sports entertainment fans, welcome to the No Shave Man Cave. I'm Ellie Jair.
I am Jay Tilley.
Did he seriously say Dookie?
He said Dookie. Hey, man, this was, and I don't know, this might not be the popular. I really enjoyed this episode up until like the last 20 minutes or so. I thought this was a fun Dynamite for sure. So let's get into it, man. Let's talk about it. It was Dynamite from April 9th. We just got done watching it. Opens up with a very interesting change of pace for AEW. We start with a Death Riders promo in the ring, or I'm sorry, Death Riders promo outside, like pre-tape kind of deal, where they talk about the Young Bucks and warning the Young Bucks not to get in their business. And it's just interesting because the Young Bucks helped them, but I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing, which ends up playing out as we go through. But that leads right into the first match, which was Mox versus Shibata. Or wait, yeah. It's all jumbled up because so much happened right at the beginning. Yeah, which is Mox versus Shibata. Pretty decent match. They go back and forth. Not a blow-away match, not great, not one of the best I've ever seen, but I enjoyed it. It was good enough to get it done. But then we had Shibata basically gets pile drived, which I think is one of the first big drops I've seen on his head since that big injury a while back. And then Mox ends up eye gouging him and choking him out to get the win. Let's go over the match, and then we can go into all the stuff that happened afterwards. What did you think about the match?
Yeah, I thought it was a really good match. I think, Shibata, him, the token, him being the wrestler, I think he's a 2 or 3 time champ over in Ring of Honor, the pure title. He's won titles all over the world. So I think it just made sense. And I thought it'd be a little bit better of a match. But then again, like you said, I think that tonight, Tony probably just said, hey, you guys, knocked it out of the park a couple nights ago. Just go have fun, pretend it's a house show. And that's really how it felt, where there was a lot less pressure on everyone because they were acting like the cameras weren't even on.
Yeah, you say a lot of fun. We'll get into one of the matches later that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So as Mox is leaving, the Young Bucks music hits, and they come to the ring, and Mox gets in their face, and the Young Bucks, they say something we don't catch on the mic, but Mox leaves, and the Young Bucks then say, hey, wanted you to stay. And they basically say that they've been sitting at home watching, and they agree with everything the Death Riders are doing. It's what they tried to do that they failed at, so they respect the Death Riders, and that they like the way Mox and the Death Riders have taken over. And then he pitches the idea of the Death Riders and the Elite together, calling themselves the founding fathers of AEW. This brings out Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega comes out and cuts a Kenny Omega style promo. He starts talking about a friend he has who has 2 Shih Tzus that took Dookies all over the place. And it got so bad that every time they'd play video games, the Dookies would pile up. So then they started taking video games at his house instead. And that's what the Young Bucks are doing. We're taking Dookies all over the company he created. And then he goes, forget it. Let's just fight. And he runs into the ring and gets in there with the Bucks. And as he's about to get into it with the Bucks, the Rainmaker's music hits. Okada comes out, a stare down. It looks like we're going to get a 3-on-1. But Swerve's music hits, and Swerve comes out from the audience with the chair, scares off the Elite. They leave. Kind of a cool show of respect between Omega and Swerve. They bump fists. He kind of lays the mics down. And he's hands up. It's all yours. And he walks out of the ring. Swerve starts cutting a promo. hey, it's open Bucks season. I'm coming after the Bucks, and he can't even get another word out, and Pac jumps him from behind, which goes into the match. But we'll get into the match. Let's cover all that. There was a lot in a
Yeah.
big long segment for AEW.
Yeah, it's good to see the Bucks back on. I think they're a fun tag team. They're all about high spots, and that's really what the tag team division was sort of known for, and very healthy. So maybe this brings a little bit of energy. Having the EVPs back, maybe it will bring a little bit of organization, maybe, if that's the right word. I'm not 100% sure what the Bucks do behind the scenes, but I mean, a lot of folks are getting injured over in AEW, so hopefully this will, they'll be like, all right, we'll be a little safer. We'll keep slapping our legs during super kicks and call it good. But really good promo. I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see what this is going to turn into. I honestly thought that it was going to pop off a little bit quicker, but I think this is going to kind of marinate for a little while. And I say the Rainmaker flips on the Elite, because where were the Elite while the Rainmaker has been holding it down for a year? Same thing with Jack Perry when he comes back. But all in all, thought up to this point, I was like, oh man, this is going to be a fun show, a little different.
I think what we might be lining up before we get into the matches, I think we're getting our blood and guts lineup, and I think you're going to see the Death Riders and the Elite versus Kenny Omega, and probably Swerve and Ospreay and his crew is what I think we're going to end up getting down the line. But we'll see.
Ooh, that'll be good.
Yeah. So like I said, Pac jump Swerve. We go for a match that's looks like it's going to be a very, very good match. However, unfortunately, I don't have confirmation on this, but it totally looked like Pac rolled his ankle. It looked like during the buckle bomb from Swerve, because Swerve backs off, the referee backs him off, he rolls out of the ring, the docs survey him, and I've been watching wrestling enough to kind of go, okay, that looks legit. It looks like a legit injury, and it looks like Pac said, "Let's finish the match," because the ref comes back and tells Swerve. You can kind of see, if you read lips, you can see him say, hey, "Go to the finish." Literally, Pac rolls in the ring, boom, finish, 1, 2, 3, and Swerve beats Pac. And instead of cutting the promo in the ring like I think he was probably planning to, he leaves the ring and kind of cuts it to the camera as he's walking out. So not a whole lot to this match, just because I think it ended prematurely. But it had the significance to be good. Thoughts and prayers go out to Pac. Hopefully it's just a rolled ankle and they get the boot off and he's fine and he's back wrestling in a couple weeks. And I don't want anything seriously wrong with him for sure.
Heck yeah. I mean, he's dealt with multiple injuries. He had some visa issues. He's had to miss out on a lot of wrestling. So like JT was saying, shout out to Pac and his healing, the healing gods out there. Definitely don't want to see him on the rack for too long, especially because those trios titles don't get defended enough as it is.
Yep. And looks like they'll be having to get defended here pretty soon too. When we get to the main event, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Then we get the $400,000 challenge set up. And it's basically a quick little promo. Team Ricochet, which is Ricochet, the Beast Mortis, Leo Rush, and Action Andretti, versus the Ospreay team, or Team Ospreay. I don't know what they're calling themselves, but it's Will Ospreay, Speedball Mike Bailey, Mark Briscoe, and Kevin Knight. And let me tell you, first of all, the promo was great from these four. I love Mark Briscoe. So, well, I plan on diversifying into my stocks and blah, blah, blah. While the other's like, I'm going to Disney World. I'm buying shoes. Good stuff there. I mean, and the match, we could go over the promo if you want. There wasn't a whole lot to it. I'd rather get into the match because, like a friend of mine, Simon Miller, says, goofy wrestling for life. This was goofy ass wrestling. This was 8 dudes out there just having a lot of fun, high flying around. You got the Beast Mortos in there, being the brunt of it and trying to be the serious one almost. But I mean, you got all 4 of the faces licking their palms and slapping Ricochet on the top of the head.
Dude.
The whole thing was comical and fun. A lot of fun. Just if you didn't see Dynamite and you don't know which to watch, go watch this match. It was a blast. It was a lot of fun. Um, and just all over the place. Ends up winning with Ospreay hitting the hidden blade onto the Beast Mortis for the 3 count. But just a lot of fun, a great match. Made me laugh. I chuckled. I had a good time with it.
Yeah, and I laugh a lot when Brisco is in the ring anyway, just
Yeah.
with his redneck kung fu and dem boys, the way his antics are. So, all in all, I thought this was really good. Mortos played his role perfectly. You've got 6 of the 8 guys in this match can jump out of the building, but this cat, freaking Kevin Knight, my lord, this cat, dude,
Yep.
he's got some springs for legs. So great match, a lot of fun. I like how good of a sport that Ricochet is on this whole thing, and he's able to be the heel, but yet take grief with
Yeah.
a grain of salt and not. And he does get a little butthurt, which then makes people get into it a lot more. So kudos to this storyline.
Yeah. And the match itself, he did some really good heel work with the tagging in and out and not like wanting to get beat up and everything. I had a
Yeah.
lot of fun with that. I actually hope to see some more between him and Speedball. I just wish Speedball would get some shoes. I don't know what it is. It bothers me. He doesn't wear shoes.
Yeah, same thing. He's not a Von Erich. It's not cool.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it would bother me as much if he didn't wear the shin pads with the straps under his feet too. Like, go shoes or don't go shoes.
Commit,
Yeah,
man. You
dude,
got to be
dude,
dedicated to the role.
yep. Then we had a couple other promo things. We had the recap of FTR and what they did to Cope, ending his career apparently.
Mm.
Which we'll see. I still think we're getting Edge and Christian versus FTR at All In, but we'll see how that pans out. What I did do is interesting is Tony Schiavone making some remarks on commentary about Dax's kids and how his youngest daughter would be upset. So I'm curious to see where they're going to go with that. Are they going to actually put hands on Tony Schiavone to heal him up even more and like jump him? I don't know. It's kind of interesting for him to make those comments.
Yeah, that and they there was some talk about the other company and some of the personal digs that they did during some of the promos and how
Could you be talking about Charlotte and Tiffany?
potentially, and a Hall of Famer was not happy about how it cut so close to home. I'm like, dog, you used to live close to home with some of your
Yep.
promos. So, I think stories tie the wrestlers together. The action in the ring tells the continuation of the story that's being talked about and the actions outside the ring. I say we keep it going. And just like, how Hangman had the conversation with Prince Nana and with Renee, too, in that little short blurb.
Yep.
Like that is hitting home for me, and they haven't even touched. So I think I'm buying it. I think
Yep.
they're doing a really good job. So
Agreed. Then we get a Hurt Syndicate comes to the ring. A lot of promos and story stuff in this episode, which I'm okay with because the wrestling was still really good. So
yeah,
Hurt Syndicate, and actually I'm going to group everything that happened with the Hurt Syndicate and MJF in one part right here instead
yeah,
of jumping back and forth. So Hurt Syndicate comes to the ring, celebrating their title win, and MJF makes his entrance and stands next to Shelton Benjamin like he's supposed to be there. And my boy Shelton is trying not to lose it. he's holding it. He had to look away a few times because he was about to lose it. It was great. And basically, Bobby Lashley gets on the mic, which was great to see him cut a promo again. It's been a while. Usually that's MVP talk. He gets on the mic and basically says, "Hey, you're not part of us. We don't want you." MVP then says, "Hey, it takes 3 thumbs up in order to join the syndicate." He gives a thumbs up. Shelton gives a down, and obviously Bobby Lashley gives him a down. So they leave the ring. MJF's upset, and he leaves the ring. A little later in the night, we get a segment where MJF is in the back, or I'm sorry, Hurt Syndicate is backstage. They're talking about it. Shelton makes a comment about, you know what? Like we said no, but He's kind of like George Costanza. He's funny, and it wouldn't be bad to have him around. Let me go talk to Bobby. And they walk off to talk to Bobby Lashley. And you're knocking the door, and MJF comes in and tells the skank to get out and smacks her on the butt. Side note, that's his fiance, so it's okay. But then he tells MVP, like, hey, you know me, you know what I'm about. Like, why don't they like me? And MVP hits him like, that's the problem. We do know you, and we know what you're about. So interesting little storyline going with this. I have no idea where they're going to go with this. I don't know if he's going to join them. I don't know if we're going to see a series of matches with him against them. Is MJF going to get a partner like maybe Wardlow? Going to bring him in, and then we're going to have some tag team championship run with. I don't know. I am curious where this is going to go.
Wow. Yeah, I think hopefully they'll play this up for a little while. MJF will remain the frustrated, disenfranchised former champion, working his way up the chain, dripped in gold, as he alluded to.
Yep.
So I think this will be. I don't want to say like the bloodline and not feeling oozy, but I think it'll sort of play out where eventually he'll begrudgingly become part. And like you said, this may be something like, Blood and Guts or something where they're like, God damn it, we need a third person.
Yeah.
And MVP is hurt or something. And he goes, I got one guy. There's only one guy.
Yeah.
And, they end up tagging with him. But we'll see. I think all of them are playing their part really well.
Yep.
So it's a good thing.
100%. I mean, if it leads to Bobby Lashley versus MJF at All In, I'm down for it because that match would be great. So anything they do, I think it's just fun, and it's a key to week storytelling because you know what? I want to see what happens next week. And,
right. Yeah.
And that's what. And we'll get to that when we do a recap at the end. All right, we get Thunder Rosa versus Chris Statlander next for the Owen Hart round 1. Statlander ends up with the win. Really good match. Lots of back and forth. I enjoyed the mutual respect at the end with Statlander helping Thunder Rosa up and checking on her and getting her out of the ring. Thunder was my pick to win, not just because she's a friend of the channel, but because I really enjoy watching her work. Stat's going to be a good run. I'm really curious. I don't know where this women's side turns out because you don't want to beat Mercedes. You don't want to beat Athena. Could you see Jamie Hayter win it because Athena loses due to Mercedes interference and Harley Cameron moves on, and then you get Athena costing Mercedes, so Harley Cameron versus Jamie Hayter's your final, and hell, give it to Harley Cameron. She deserves it. But I don't know. I don't know where they're going to go with the women's side. I don't see them. I mean, maybe you are going to get Mercedes versus Tony, and they'll merge the titles at the All In. But I don't know. What do you think about the match, though? I went off on a tangent. Sorry.
No, yeah, I thought it was a really good match. Excellent intro by Thunder. Great to see her pyro back in there as well. And that powder blue gear just popped different. Like it was really good. I thought the match was really good. Statlander looked fantastic. A lot of really big, strong moves. And I was surprised by the finish. Because again, I thought that that TR would come out the victor.
Yep.
But how we were talking about, we're not sure what's going to happen with the bracket and with the Owen Hart. No one can come out to the ring to to distract and join them at ringside. So how that's going to be? Is there going to be a count out? Is there going to be something wonky? Someone gets attacked in the back. This is, and I like that. I like the suspended belief and not having like a foregone conclusion, like, old boy's in it. So, old boy or old girl, whoever the I don't want to say chosen one, like McIntyre.
Well, like I think we all think that Ospreay's probably going to win the men's side.
Yeah.
I think is kind of like the conclusion. So yeah, I agree. The women's is a little more up in the air for me.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get a Don Callis quick promo in the back that the Don Callis family is recruiting. I did find that interesting after the Hurt Syndicate stuff too, because what if MJF decides to go with the Callis family? And then, since he's heard that now, he's like, wait a minute, I might be able to do that. But
Yeah.
who knows? And then we get.
And he ends up pitting the two factions against each other.
Yep.
So
Yep.
especially when they're shorthanded with everybody being injured. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah. And then we've got a Jericho segment. As a learning tree, Jericho's time. He calls out Big Bill and the bounty hunter, Brian Keith. They come to the ring. Big Bill basically says, if you're here to ridicule us and put me down, I don't want to be here. I'm going to leave. And he's like, no, that's not what I'm going to do. I'm proud of you, blah, blah, blah. But I am disappointed. He gives him the old disappointed father. And then he says, I'm leaving until you can prove me wrong. So cool. Jericho's leaving for a while. I mean, he's just going to go reinvent himself and come back around and go, oh my God, Jericho's great.
Yeah.
But what'd you think?
Yeah, it was for me. I've been ready for Jericho to take a Fozzy tour or another Jericho's. Maybe he shows up in Australia when they do the the tournaments and stuff where Nick Nemeth and Ash by Elegance are the world champions out there. But yeah, I think it's good that he's going to take a break, get his tooth replaced, and come back repackaged, and be fully AEW, no longer splitting between ROH. Really excited to see what's going to happen with ROH now that Bandito's champ.
Yep.
And see what they can do. But I liked it. It gave Big Bill a little bit of credibility for standing up to Jericho, which I think will help his character. Not sure about the bounty hunter because he just stood there mad dogging. Big Bill like, yo man, I told you that on the road. I didn't want you to
that
say
was in the
anything
car.
out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm curious where he goes. I think Bill has a good face run in him if he wants. And the other thing this whole show actually had me thinking is the tag team division, because I don't think I had it in my notes, but we had Adam Cole and the Paragon. I guess they're calling themselves now. What is with these stupid names? That and the Ops.
Yeah.
But anyway, and I was like, man, Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong, like that's a tag team I want to see. And then when I was watching Lilo Rush and Action Andretti and their moves together, I'm like, that's a tag team I like to see. They could do some really good tag team stuff if they get going with it, and it'll be interesting to see. Brian Keith and Big Bill are another one.
Yeah.
But now it's time for the main event: Death Riders versus the Ops. This was the weakest match on the card for me. I thought. I don't even have much in my notes as like, oh my gosh, this happened. A lot of what I have happened is just the finish, which was the Ops end up winning because Hook chokes out Yuta in the ring, but as Hook's choking out Yuta, Moxley, who would come in to interfere, is getting choked out by Shibata, and then Claudio is getting choked out by Samoa Joe outside the ring, which cool. So they win. The guys are choked out and supposedly passed out, but Marina Shafir hits the ring with the chair and wallops Samoa Joe. He gets out of the ring. So then the Death Riders had the advantage again. They did a nasty looking neutralizer on an upside down chair on the Hook, which I was like, oh God. And then they leave, and then the Ops basically call them out for a trios title match. Yeah, that was the main event. Kind of a wet noodle on a really decent show. I thought I was not very impressed with this at all.
Yeah, I was bummed about the finish. And I wanted to hear more from Tony about the match against Bane when she was doing commentary, but I think it made sense for the show because Bane just did that little blurb how she was going to make everybody bow down and stuff.
Yep.
I bowed down just so everybody knows. I was in my living room bowing down. Yes, ma'am. So the Megasis made her point with me. I think she'll eventually make her point with Tony at some point. Maybe at All In, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, man, it started off good, kind of tapered off. I thought it started to pick up just with the seriousness of Big Bill, and then it kind of dipped down. So hurt the beard score for me. But
What'd you give it?
I gave it three beards, but I think the crowd was into it. I think the wrestlers did a good job, and we just need to tighten up what's going on with the Death Riders, I think.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with Death Riders. Like, I think they should have pivoted from it.
Yeah.
Maybe this elite part is the pivot, but I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna drive the editor nuts. I'm gonna give it 2 3/4 star. It was a little under average, so now he's got to find 3/4. All right, Tony, I'll make it easy for you. Just give it 3. It was an average show. I would have probably been a little higher, like maybe 3.5, if it wasn't for the main event. The main event, I didn't enjoy it. But I will say, in general, Dynamite has been on a good run. Every show back to back has been good, if not great.
Yeah.
And they're hitting their groove right now for me, and I'm enjoying it. And I look forward to watching Wednesday and now Saturdays to see what the next thing is going to be. So they found their formula, and I'm digging it.
Yeah, so a couple of rumor mills things, and then we'll wrap it up. But Bryan Danielson has been behind the curtain a lot lately, so that may be playing into it.
I want him to be the wild card so bad.
Yeah, that's gonna be, whew, man. That'll blow the roof off the place.
If he's the wild card and ends up winning, and then takes on Moxley at All In, oh, dude,
Yowza!
I got a wrestling boner.
Yeah, my ropes just got stiff. But yeah, I forgot what the other rumor was. I was like, no way, Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, so, I mean, think about it. You'd have Bryan Danielson versus Hangman Page, and then probably Danielson win, and you'd have Danielson versus, Kyle Fletcher. Oh my gosh, another great match. Danielson will probably win. Then you'll probably get Danielson versus Ospreay. Come on. And then Danielson wins that and goes right in to take on Moxley at All In. But I don't know. I know he was going to retire, and he said if he lost the belt, he wouldn't come back. So that's wrestling dreams, wet dreams. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be Darby Allin, to be honest with you.
Wow. No, he starts the April 15th. He starts the mountain climb.
Oh, I thought he was done. Oh, okay. So it won't be Darby. I have no idea who the wild card's going to be then.
Yeah.
It'll be fun to see. All right. Well, we appreciate it. Let us know in the comments below what you think the wild card should be, and if you think Danielson would make a good run at it. Check us out wherever you get your social media from: Twitter and Instagram, NSMC_podcast, Facebook, No Shave Man Cave. If you want to check out our merch, noshavemancave.com to get. Oh, I don't have the hat on. I've got Big Cat Rescue's hat on. Shout out to them, by the way. Local Jacksonville place. They house big cats, tigers, bears, that kind of stuff. Pretty neat place. If you ever get a chance and you're in Jacksonville, you should check them out. It's like $15 to get in. Self-paced walk. If you get in there and they do a tour, it's good stuff. So had a lot of conversation with the owner the other day. But anyway, yeah, check us out. Get our merch, noshavemancave.com. And let us know what you think. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And it's that time of the night, man. Hot tag. Take us home.
Bump and feed. Thank you very much, El Edador. All the work you're doing behind the scenes. All of our men and women in uniform, thank you so much for what you do for this great country. Hurry up. Get your ass back here. First responders, as always, keep doing what you're doing. You kept my son safe last night. He was kind of being a bonehead, so thank you so much for helping out there. So until next time, as JT always says, check us out on all our socials, and take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you on the floor.